I'm okay. Look, they're giving me the. I'm not doing the Archie run. I'm not. All right, fine, sure. We'll do this one, I guess. First Isaac run back. I haven't played in like a month. Nah, that's a bit of an overstatement. It's not been a month, but you know, I'm not gonna complain about the Sacred Heart start. That's fine by me. That's fine by me. Anyway. Yeah, so I fell back into like an Elden Ring hole a little bit. Look, I didn't say I was completely done with the game, okay? I took a little break after playing through it 3 times in a row in February. And then, mostly because I had an exam, so I had to spend like a week studying for that. And now, I did another playthrough, again. It was a very schizophrenic build with a strength int type dealio, in case you're curious. I like going for like unorthodox weird builds, and it was fun. And I'm doing another one later this week, probably, knowing myself. Still gotta do the randomizer playthrough too, I was planning, but yeah. That's what life has been. Haven't really been playing much Balatro either, but yeah. Those have been going up. Just been churning through a bunch of Lethal Company footage, and that's where the channel's been at. So we got all the channel updates out of the way. Been churning through Lethal Company footage. I've still got like, I don't know, 15 hours of footage left to go through or something like that. But we're getting there. We're getting there. The video's already 40 minutes long. In the rough cut, it's probably gonna lose length eventually. It's probably gonna get cut down some more and stuff like that. But yeah, lots of footage there. Have any pro tips on Elden Ring? I've been meaning to get into it, but really bad Souls-like games motivation goes burr. I mean, let me think, like... Because I've played the game, like, I've done like 8 or 9 playthroughs now, right? Like, the game, everything comes to me mostly second nature. I hate to be that guy that's just like, oh, just look up some builds, but honestly, it probably helps a lot if you just, like, look up some builds. Like figure out what you want to go for, like, whether you want to do strength, whether you want to do dex, whether you want to do maybe a spellcasting build and focus more on int or faith. I recommend, as a newcomer, it's probably a lot easier to, like, stay away from bosses. So go for a ranged build, aka strength for int. Go for spellcasting, right? Like, my first playthrough that I did of the game when it came out was an int playthrough, and I just casted sorceries. Pretty much the entire playthrough. I guess we're done with the floor. I'm not gonna look for secret rooms. I don't even have bombs. Never mind. Yeah, whatever. You know what? Eat the pills. Health down. Great. Health down again. Can't get another one! Okay. You know what? That was overall acceptable. So yeah, like an int spellcasting playthrough works pretty well because there's some absolutely broken spells in the game. Just utterly, hilariously broken. Oh boy. Give me that apple. I missed it. I mean, I can't... Sure. Naked run any percent. You don't necessarily have to be naked. The good thing about a spellcasting build is that because you're not carrying any heavy weapons, you can actually put on some heavy armor. You can actually go for some heavy armor and be pretty well protected. And because you're already staying far away from enemies, you're less likely to be hit by, you know, sweeps and all that stuff. And then honestly, yeah, just like spam spells and shit. It's a decent way to get acclimated to the game, in my opinion. Holy shit, what a library, by the way. I'm not complaining about this one either. And I was thinking like, oh man, can't wait to go for angel deals today. I guess that's not happening. Because we're rocking the Satanic Bible. Yep, that's the nature of it. But beyond that, honestly, you can make anything work in Elden Ring if you know how to, right? Like, my builds have gotten progressively more and more niche as I've done more and more playthroughs, because there's so many options in what you can build for, and it's really just up to your imagination. An easy way to make anything work is to go into Faith more. If you go into Faith, you're not really going to be dealing your damage with your spells most of the time. I mean, lobbing fireballs at people is fun as well. But, you know, it can only get you so far. But you get access to an immense array of buff spells that are just utterly insanely broken as well. Spells that buff your damage by like 60%, spells that negate a specific type of damage by like 80% by the time you hit the end game. So you can just trivialize like large portions of the game if you know what you're going up against. And you can make any weapon work really, really well. But you just gotta look up a lot of stuff. You gotta look up how weapons scale, like what weapons scale best with which stats or whatever. When to go for specific elemental damages, you know, like, oh, enemies that are in water take more damage from lightning damage and less damage from fire. I didn't notice at the bottom was a little cut off there, huh? Let's check the devil deal first. Dark Princess Crown. Nah, don't want that. Don't want Lusty Blood. It's kinda decent. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it. We ball. I don't want straw, obviously. I still got 0 bombs. I guess I'll just fuck myself and move on. Yeah, it's a fun game, man. Elden Ring rules. Can't wait for the DLC. It's only a couple of months away, and I've got more playthroughs planned. Hey, maybe I'll do the next one on stream. You know, maybe I'll actually stream it. Unlikely, considering how much time I spend playing it. I'd rather not be doing that on stream, because then the streams will end up being 8 hours long, and I don't like streaming for 8 hours. I'm not a huge fan of that. I've been easing my way back into streaming right now. And I've been enjoying these streams being like 2 to 3 hours, and just like, you know, me being able to log off afterwards. I appreciate that. It's much nicer that way. Sure, some bombs, finally. About fucking time. Let's check for a secret room. I need some keys too to go to my item room. That would be great. Game, if I could get some of those. I also need to get my sea legs back underneath me, because I haven't played Isaac in so long. All I've been playing lately have been Elden Ring, occasionally Balatro, and Arknight's IS4. Do I become like the roguelike guy? Do I start making videos about Arknight's IS4? Is that the point I'm gonna get to? Look, I suck ass at it as well. Another book? Nah. Hushy. Let's go, dude. Let's go. Like, am I really gonna be the roguelike guy to the extent where instead of actually making videos about roguelike games, I make videos about the roguelike game mode in a gacha game? In the gacha tower defense game? Is that really the level I'm gonna stoop to? Is that advisable? From all I know, there's not really much of an audience for Arknight's content to begin with, so I doubt that that's a good idea. I played Dragon's Dogma 2. I have 0 interest in Dragon's Dogma. I'm gonna die. I'm not much of a, you know, traditional type RPG type gamer. I like Elden Ring, but, you know, that's about the extent of RPGs that I interface with. If you count Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild as an RPG, then I've also interfaced with those, but, you know. Yeah, I need to stop dying, by the way. I have no interest in Dragon's Dogma. It looks like a neat game, but, you know, it's not really my speed. Can't I take this for free if I touch the Whitefire? I can, right? Should be able to take this for free. Dope. Awesome. So yeah, no, not my speed. Not my speed, but man, I've said it before, I'll say it again. 2024 kinda loaded for games. Also, I shouldn't have used the Bible yet, that was a mistake. Oh well. 2024 is kinda loaded for games, isn't it? Like, we've just been having games come out. There's something for everybody. Everybody gets something that they can possibly enjoy in the gaming scene currently. There's already been a lot, and they've all been good for the most part. Gaming isn't washed anymore. Gaming is so back. We are so back, bros. Gaming has never been more back. We are doing wonderfully. You love to see it, don't you? Right, that's the knife piece. I don't know why I would check it. Gaming is back. Borderlands movie comes out. Gaming industry crash. Look, everybody knows that Borderlands is washed. Borderlands isn't, like, you know, indicative of all of gaming. Borderlands has been washed since Borderlands 2 came out. After that, it was just bullshit. Borderlands 2 was the peak. It's just been downhill since then. And, you know, that's just one franchise, though. And that's mostly because of Randy. It's not even, you know, anything else's fault. It's just Randy is a weasel. Greasy little weasel. Grand 3 could have been goated if it didn't have bad humor. Yeah, I mean, I didn't play it, because I didn't really care. I never cared too much for... I mean, it's free, might as well take it. Like, I never cared much for Borderlands anyway. I played through Borderlands 2 a couple of times with friends, and it was fun. I played through the pre-sequel with a friend. It was fun. I didn't really care much for Borderlands 3 when it came out. And once I saw that apparently the writing is just pure doo-doo, I was like, well, I'm not missing much. It's the same gameplay. Might as well just replay Borderlands 2 if I really desperately wanted to have the gameplay aspect of it again. So, yeah, should as well... I mean, I got money now, might as well check the shop, right? I haven't been to a single shop yet. Still lacking keys. Mom's box. Not interested. Coupon, not interested. Birthright! Now you're speaking my language, also had a keeper. What do we got? I mean, Heartbreak is the least mid item here, so I guess I'll take that. Fair enough, fair enough. On a similar note, this is... Look, I know I haven't made these daily Isaac videos for a while now, but I still keep some banter things stored up that I want to talk about from time to time, you know? We do say gaming is so back, but obviously the industry is in a fucking shambolic state, right? Every fucking day you hear about, like, 800 people being laid off from every gaming company or tech company on Earth. And, like, obviously, my condolences go to the people that lost their jobs, yada yada, are now looking for work and all that stuff, have trouble paying their mortgages. Like, naturally, obviously, right? But can I make, like, a devil's advocate argument? Just, not even argument, like, just a devil's advocate, like, statement? Maybe all those people, or at least a lot of those people, lost their jobs because they weren't needed anymore. Obviously, like, if it's something like, oh, they were replaced by AI, yeah, that sucks. But, you know, like, have you considered that maybe some of these people aren't needed to, like, do their job anymore? Maybe they did their job and they're done and they're not needed anymore, right? Like, yeah, CEOs being greedy and just wanting more money, that's obviously not why you should lay people off. But I have an example to, you know, exemplify my point a little bit. Discord updated their mobile app recently, and everybody hated it. Now let me tell you, what if instead of keeping the people that made those mobile app updates on payroll, Discord instead just fucking fired them before they ever got to make the terrible updates that everybody hated? Have you ever considered that the reason why everything becomes shittier, every service seems to have this incessant need of constantly updating their UI for no fucking reason, is because they have hired too many people that now have nothing better to do? Because there's nothing to do. They have finished developing Discord. There's nothing left to do for the most part. So now all they can do is update the UI every once in a while. And fucking everybody hates it because everybody's used to a certain UI. YouTube has changed their UI recently. At least I got a new UI on YouTube. Most people probably don't have it yet, but I got part of the limited rollout and I can't change it back. Now, to be fair, I don't mind the new YouTube layout. It's actually completely fine. I think it's better than the old one, IMO. But it took me a couple of days to get used to, you know? And I was again, oh, okay, this is just another one of those examples of, oh, some people at Google had nothing better to do. Like, they needed to have, you know, earn their paycheck. They needed to do something to, you know, validate that they worked that job for a reason. And thus, this UI change came to be. So what I'm saying is, instead of just hiring people en masse and then having to lay them off because, quote-unquote, you're out of money, which is a bullshit reason, just lay them off because they've done their job. Give them a good severance pay, and just send them off into the world. They have done their job, they can go. Instead of keeping them employed and letting them make the fucking platform worse because they need to earn their paycheck, just let them go! You know? Let them find a new job. Let them work on a different platform. Let them work with a competitor. I know this is sounding very silly, but you know what I mean, right? What I'm saying is, I don't think every tech layoff is completely unjustified. A lot of them are just a result of, the CEO wanted to get even more money, but, you know, like, there's some merit to it. To some extent, that's a guppy item. Unfortunately for me, I do not have any red hearts to turn into soul hearts, and unfortunately for me as well, if I took this, I'm not gonna be looking pretty on HP. I don't mind simplifying or, like, refreshing things to look better. Again, I don't mind the YouTube UI change, but I'm just saying, like, was it really necessary? I don't think so. I'm gonna skip this. It's a controversial choice, just as skipping Bloody Lust is probably gonna be here, but I just kind of don't want it. I just kind of don't care for it. What was in the shop? Dog shit. Nothing. Queen of Hearts. I should look for my... What I should have done is look for my other secret room, use it in there. Maybe it was like a soul heart room. Never mind. Ah, you know what? I'll play this. Gambling! Just a single soul heart payout is all you're gonna make me happy. I understand. I understand. I get it. I completely get it. I understand what you're pulling here, game. It basically looks more like a tablet. Like the tablet mobile app UI or whatever. And I don't mind it. I think it's completely fine, because it allows you to see comments without having to scroll down all the way. You can still, you know, keep watching the video while reading the comments. The recommended videos are just kind of buried below the video instead, which is fine. I think that's okay. You can see the entire description without having to, you know, scroll away from the video or anything. I think it's a good change. I think it works well. That's the only UI change they did anyway. But the Discord mobile app is honestly inexcusable. I excused it at first because, again, I don't hate it that much. I think they are cooking with some of the ideas, like swipe to reply is fine and all that stuff. But having to get used to completely new Discord UI for like 3 weeks when they updated it, completely getting rid of all my muscle memory. It's just inexcusable. And then, like, you know, like, they always remove features that people actually use. Like, why? Why get rid of features that people actually use? Because you're not using them? I'm literally taking a class in uni right now. By taking, I mean I technically took it this semester, and now I'm just, like, rewatching all the presentations because my exam for it is in, like, a week and a half. But, you know, it's about, like, human-computer interaction, and it's, like, about design and stuff like that as well, a little bit. And, like, I understand why, like, you know, some of these things come to be, obviously, because I watch those lecture videos absent-mindedly at 2x speed while scrolling Twitter on my phone. But, you know, it's... what I'm saying is, I think these UI changes and, like, these people being employed and tech layoffs and stuff, maybe it's a bit blown out of proportion. Maybe it's not that big of a deal, you know? Maybe, just maybe, there's a valid choice to it. Gaming is best AA, most of these AAA are bound to crash at some point. Because they get more and more expensive to run. And free to shareholders, as like with some games are $70 now. Yeah, I agree. Like I've always been more of an indie guy anyway. I don't like besides Elden Ring, which I guess is AAA because it costs $60, and like maybe, you know, the occasional Nintendo game, aka Tears of the Kingdom. In the past few years, I don't think I've touched much in terms of AAA at all. Does Doom Eternal counts? I guess. Okay, sure. I played that. But I don't even remember the last AAA game I played before that. Baldur's Gate. Yeah, it's like so rare, right? Like Baldur's Gate was good, but it's so rare that AAA games actually deliver. Again, this year seems to be maybe the odd one out. It looks like gaming is recovering a little bit. But then you get shit like Ubisoft claiming, oh, it's a quadruple A game. And then they release Skull and Bones! Like the middest of games ever conceived. Like, come on. Shit was in development hell for 8 years. You telling me it's quadruple A? Nah, bruh. No, even at the company, nobody knew what the fuck this game's gonna be. You telling me it shit's supposed to be quadruple A? I don't buy it. Well, I wouldn't buy it anyway because you're French. What even constitutes a AAA game? I think it's just the budget. I think the A's on games just constitute the budget that the game has. The bigger the budget, the more A's, and AAA tend to be done by big publishers. They end up carrying the $60 price tag, at least for a while. Now it's $70 because, you know, they're trying to tell us that money got worth less, which makes no sense. Money's money. But whatever. I just still don't believe inflation is real. I mean, I understand the basic idea behind the economics and behind the idea that, like, you know, supply and demand. I still don't believe inflation is real. Like, what if, like, the government could literally just print money without anybody knowing? What if they just printed money without telling anybody? Like, how... if nobody knew that there was more money, how is the money gonna lose value? You know, it's all made up. The economy isn't real. None of it is real. Because maybe Palworld in the gaming economy brought a bit of a change to the gaming industry. Maybe. Palworld is a good example. It's such a divisive one for me as well. Because again, I didn't actually like the idea of Palworld. I wasn't on board with it anyway, because I'm a Pokemon hater to begin with, and also a survival game hater. So like, it was a perfectly conceived game for me to hate. But I also think it's highly fucking based that they're basically stealing from Nintendo, and Nintendo can't do anything about it. And they've beaten the... I think they beat the AI allegations too. Like, there were people alleging, like, you know, because they made an AI... or a Gen AI game in the past, maybe they used Gen AI for the Pokemon designs in Palworld. But you know, if they've beaten the allegations, I'm all for them. And I wish the Palworld developers the best. I wish them all the success they could possibly have. I still find it a little, you know, weird that, like, but it's basically an asset flip, sold millions of copies in a week. But hey, that's the state the gaming industry is in, you know? We've been getting shafted for the past couple of years with only, like, 2 good games releasing every year. So I understand why people are hungry for something good, you know? I get it. I understand. Purgatory. What do we have in here? Duality. Well, I guess I can still get some angel deals after all. Sure, why not? Gladly. The allegation made it without any defined proof. Just AI haters being hating. I mean, even if there is proof, you know, like even if the CEO apparently of the company was like, oh yeah, no, I love AI, I think it's cool. And even if they have published like the other AI game in the past, it doesn't necessarily mean that they would employ it for everything they do, right? I think this is another thought I had. Obviously, Gen AI is a problem. Artists should be getting paid for their work, they shouldn't have their work stolen and AI trained on it, and they shouldn't lose their jobs and their livelihoods over it. Obviously. But I think a lot of it is also just being blown out of proportion. It's people doom posting, right? It's people exaggerating the actual problem that it presents. Because that shit's gonna get regulated like crazy. Like, as soon as the right people get wronged, aka politicians, they'll realize, oh shit, we need to regulate this stuff, and then it's not a problem anymore. But it's also, like, you know, the consumers are already speaking. Nobody really likes the AI-generated content. People get called out, like, companies get called out all the time if they post an AI image because they were too lazy to commission, like, a graphic designer or an editor to just make a quick little photo or something like that. So obviously, right? Yeah. The consumers are already speaking anyway. Like, the market regulates itself in that regard. And apparently the whole AI thing turns out to just be a bubble anyway. So a post that was like, most AI companies are reporting, you know, significantly higher losses, or much rather significantly lower winnings than they were anticipating, and who would have thought the technology that they were hyping up is actually not all that exciting or interesting and has a lot of growing pains. So for all we know, that bubble's gonna burst soon. And then what? Like, and plus AI is being used for some of the menial tasks, which is what it should be used for. Having it be used for the menial tasks, that's what it's for, baby. Oh boy, okay, I guess we're getting rid of that Satanic Bible. That's how it be. It kept me alive throughout this run. I appreciate its existence. Now, it is the rule of the D6 is upon us. But that, you know, you gotta also... The AI problem isn't even necessarily exclusively an AI problem. It's a creatives problem. Creatives have always been shafted. Nobody, for some reason, you know, artists are like the most important people of any human civilization because art is the only thing that sticks around when our civilization dies out. Like, the only remnants we have of, like, cavemen are fucking cave paintings. That's the only shit that we, like, still have of them. And, like, the things they crafted with their own hands, you know, like fucking spears and arrows and shit. So, you know, everything else has gone away. The only records we have of Egypt are, like, hieroglyphics chiseled into the walls of the pyramids, you know? Like, in some way or another, art is the only medium that persists throughout civilization. And yet, despite artists being, like, the most important people in any civilization, they also get shafted. Nobody respects them ever. But that's just been like that for pretty much the entirety of human existence, so... it's not really a new thing. Alright, what do we have in here? You wanna drop a quarter, buddy? Drop a quarter! Hey, drop a quarter! Hey, fuck you. Piece of shit, I hate you, Super Greed. You suck. What do we have in here? A deck of cards. Sure. I got nothing else to spend money on anyway. Speaking of money. I just got more of it out of that 2 of diamonds, so let's donate a bit. Okay. What are you? Temperance. Cool. Don't care. Kinda like, don't care. There's some charges lying around. Let's roll once. Okay, Spider Mod. You're a cool guy. I like you. Let's get this one. Go put it in the secret room. True, and then played it, but like, again, I don't have red hearts. You know. I'm just gonna save my charges. Hope that I get a deal here. 33% ain't very likely, but it's also not super unlikely. Yeah, like the accessibility of the AI technology is the problem. That's the real deal. If every random Joe can just you know, should I go for the key pieces or should I should just re-roll the key pieces, right? Like, there's 2 more deals potentially after this one. I guess I could maybe get in the key pieces. Ah, you know what? Screw it. I'll just re-roll this. Alright, that's Revelation. Ancient Revelation, mind you, but still, that's cool. I don't mind me a bit of a shot speed upgrade here. I don't trust AI with math. The thing about AI is that you have to... that it will be wrong at some point. So precise calculations are not really ideal for anything to solve. Yeah, man, like... I found it really funny. One of the lectures, the one that I had the exam for a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, 12 days ago. Throughout the semester, they had us hand in assignments every couple of weeks. And at first, they planned to have those assignments be part of your grade. Or much rather, you had to complete them in order to be allowed to take the exam. To have exam admission, right? But after the second assignment, they literally dropped an email to everyone and were like, yeah, so we're gonna stop grading the assignments, and they're not gonna be required for the exam anymore, because we've noticed that, like, a lot of groups are just using ChatGPT to answer them. And, like, you know, if you like, the wording was literally just, if you guys can't be asked, if you can't be asked to, you know, solve the assignments, we also can't be asked to grade them. So we're just gonna make it optional, and, like, people that want to do them can hand them in, and we'll correct them and give you feedback. Otherwise, have fun, enjoy, you know. Good luck studying and stuff like that. Which I think is a Giga Chad move. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of the people that ended up doing that also probably failed the exam. I passed, by the way. I got the grade today. I passed. Despite not doing the assignments. But yeah. But, you know, like, I was like, yeah. Like, for some of the quizzes throughout the lecture, I was like, you know, I could, like, rewatch the entire lecture and, like, you know, scour through all the presentation slides to try and see how I can answer this question. Like, they had us do quizzes as well after each lecture. Or I'm just gonna, like, you know, ask this question to ChatGPT, see what he has to say. Just see what the response could be. And 9 out of 10 times it was wrong. It was just wrong. So I was like, well, it can't be, like, you know, like, it was the Bing chat, obviously, the Bing chat version of ChatGPT because it has internet access. But, like, you know, if it can't even, like, answer a basic question about, like, SVD correctly, then how the fuck am I supposed to trust it with anything? It's, like, I've used the AI for coding. I think it's okay for coding. I should have re-rolled. Like, for instance, at one time when I wanted to make an After Effects script for a specific thing that I wanted to do, like a specific stack of effects without having to apply the effects manually every time. But I don't know any JavaScript. So I was like, okay, and I obviously don't know all the syntax After Effects scripts have either. So I was like, hey, ChatGPT, write me an After Effects script that does this and this and that. And obviously the script was buggy, but because it was a good starting point, it was a good framework, I could then work off of it. Even if the script itself was not that great, it was, you know, it was a starting point for me I could work on and then, lovely, get something out of, you know? And something that I would have never otherwise done, because I would have had to, like, learn the entirety of JavaScript syntax that I don't know, then learn all the specific After Effects scripting syntax as well on top of it. With just letting ChatGPT do that shit for me, like, you know, it basically skipped me having to Google and read a bunch of documentation. Which I think is awesome. And I think that's, like, one of the great applications of AI. Because that's not, like, you're, like, what, there's no downside to that. Like, yeah, okay, you're not learning properly. Fuck that! You can skip the menial shit of programming, which is learning all the syntax and learning all the fucking functions and shit, and get straight to the meat of it, which is writing the actual shit you want to write. That's what it should be used for! That's a good application of it! But yeah, I found out really fun. It's a funny anecdote about ChatGPT and uni and stuff. from the current semester. Stream your new Elden Ring, dummy? I just finished the playthrough yesterday. Maybe the next one I'll stream. Maybe the next one I do I'll stream. I don't know. I gotta pace myself a little bit, you know? I got plenty more different weird-ass builds I want to try out, but I also... There's just a problem with me, like, streaming Elden Ring. I'll end up playing, like, 8 hours a day, and I'll end up doing, like, 8-hour-long streams, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do an 8-hour stream, you know? I just want to... I like these, like, little short 2 to 3 hour long streams. Like, you know, I have more energy to it. It's just more fun for me. I don't want to have, like, an 8-hour stream of me just sitting there playing a game silently. That's not fun. I don't have fun with that, you know? And that's why I've been hesitant to stream Elden Ring. just not been a huge fan of the idea. I am not re-rolling my whole run. It's not happening. I'll take the infested for 1 spider. That's all I'm worth. When did I get this many bombs, by the way? When the fuck did that happen? Like, what the hell? Why do I have 62 of them? That's kind of crazy. Here's another crazy story. The other day, a couple days ago, I was just, like, doing work, right? I was just, like, editing random shit. I think I was editing down some Lethal Company footage. And, you know, eventually sometimes it just happens, like, even though I think I got, like, a solid 7-ish hours of sleep the night before, I just felt a little tired in the afternoon. Happens to me sometimes, I just get a little, you know, a little dozy, a little sleepy. Have trouble, like, you know, keeping my eyes open or whatever, especially, like, boring, like, repetitive shit, like sifting through footage, or I've had it happening when I was studying for the exam as well. So I was like, ah, fuck it, you know what, I'm just gonna lie down real quick. Set myself, like, an hour timer on my phone or something like that, take a quick little nap, you know? I woke up, no joke, 15 minutes later, and I felt completely rejuvenated and awake. I felt like I'd just slept 10 hours. I don't know how to describe this feeling, but I literally checked the timer and only 15 minutes had passed on it. I have somehow, some way, I managed to sleep 8 hours in 15 minutes. It was kind of crazy. The craziest part about it was, right before I woke up, I started to have like a little like dream thoughts wandering type dealio. And in the dream, I was doing something and I was fighting off like sleepiness. I was fighting off like tiredness. I was like, oh man, I'm so tired. And in the dream, I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna go to sleep. And then I woke up IRL and I felt rejuvenated. Like what? I went to sleep in my dream and I woke up IRL and I was like, man, I'm feeling great. After a quarter-hour sleep, which is, yeah, I've never had that happen before. I felt kind of, yeah, it's a rare occurrence, probably, but it felt kind of great, man. Hoping to replicate that one day again. Kind of nice, kind of just a nice feeling. But yeah, that was fucking crazy to me. It was funny as hell. I woke up, I felt like the fucking wave of wakefulness wash over me as I woke up. I was like, what the hell was that? Why am I suddenly not tired anymore? Just 15 minutes ago, I was barely able to stay awake in my chair, sitting here, editing, and now you're telling me that I can just... I got hit by like a spell of wakefulness or something. Ooh, sure. Just go down with Polaroid? I did just go down with Polaroid, yes, that's a certified Sony moment. I completely forgot about the fact that I took the Polaroid and not the negative, because I'm so used to taking the negative that I forgot. Oh well! No big deal. I'm sure we'll find a way to perhaps squeeze past Satan anyway. If there's a sack room, for instance, I can try to play that. Or maybe I find an error room, you know? Anything's possible. Look, you can tell I haven't played Isaac much, okay? You can tell I haven't played it since, like, 3 weeks ago, okay? All I've been playing is fucking Elden Ring, okay? Give me a break. This is what you get. This is what it's like. Great time for this guy to pay out with something. And I re-roll it, and it turns to something good. I mean, again, if I find a sack room, that scapular actually just saved the run. I didn't know where to stand. If I find a sack room, that scapular actually saved us, and we can go to the dark room. That being said, I need to find a sack room. Those have been kind of sparse so far. Here's the problem, though. Obviously, scapular by itself doesn't really do much for me here. I didn't get a sack room. I guess just roll it again, man. Fuck it. Tough love. Fun times. So be it. Look, I'm no stranger to cheating either. I could just give myself a negative and pretend that I never did the blunder. But I didn't get the key pieces either, so I guess it's not like I'm missing out on much, right? That's just how it would be sometimes. Oh well. No void portal. Oh well. Oh well.